What is happening, people? That's right. No Hay Arquero. Y'all thought we were not going to be back, but we are. We absolutely are. Episode 14. We are back. And this is a bit of a special episode. We're going to be doing some soccer talk. We're going to be interviewing a professional FIFA player on this podcast. It's very exciting to be here. And obviously, I'm joined by none other than professional FIFA player Jordy Reyes and, of course, Vicente. How are you guys doing today?
Good, bro. It's good to be back, man. You know, it's been a few weeks.
Been a
but
few
we are
weeks.
here. We're back, back to talk some Leagues Cup transfers, Olympics, Mexico national team. We're going to talk a little bit about everything today. And, of course, talk about some FIFA, see what kind of questions you guys have for me.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that. Jordy, this is an episode that when we came up with this, that's one of the big things that we had in mind is being able to interview you. This is going to be very exciting. But before we proceed to all our talk, let's get into question of the day. What do you got for us?
Yes, the question of the day. This question, I was kind of reluctant to bring it up because it's maybe I would say a little bit of a deeper one.
Okay.
But we'll try to keep it short and simple.
Okay.
So would you rather? So would you guys rather have eternal happiness or eternal wealth? Like I said, it's a little bit of a deeper one.
Okay.
Damn. It's a big one. I'm not gonna lie.
It is, bro, because, thing is, when you're happy, it's just that body high is so unmatched, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is hard, but then with money, I don't know, you can buy whatever you want, I guess. You don't have to worry about
I am not very materialistic, but I want wealth.
Yeah.
Because
it's not even about you,
exactly. With unlimited wealth, I could just help my family, friends, and if everyone around me is happy and doing well, then the chances of me being happy and doing well are a lot higher.
Yeah.
So
And then being happy, by yourself, you're kind of hogging all that happiness. When you have money, how you say, you guys can spread it to your family. And eternal wealth, man, that's generational wealth right there, bro.
exactly.
I'm gonna go with the wealth.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I'm not regretting my decision either.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone cry in a Lamborghini. I'm just saying that.
That's a fact.
It's funny. But that is going to be
That's a
the
deep one,
question of the day. Yeah, a little bit of a deep one.
I like that one.
But we went over it quickly as we go over some of the confirmed transfers that have been going on as, it is the summer, and that's kind of the transfers that are rolling in now. Obviously, deadline day goes crazy, but some of the big ones, we were talking about it before the podcast, Julian Alvarez joining Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted him for different clubs, but Vicente, you were saying that you think that he fits the Atletico Madrid system very well.
He's Atletico Madrid, and what Simeone has built there in Madrid is just everything just lines up for a guy like Julian Alvarez. A guy who can pressure non-stop, a guy who is able to finish the ball, who has power, strength, and he developed very well. Went from River to Manchester City. He's now a lot stronger, faster, and I think that Simeone, he coached River Plate. Julian Alvarez comes from River Plate, so I think there's gonna be a strong connection. Also, he will play over Rodrigo de Paul with Molina, and Atletico Madrid has improved their squad honestly because they signed Lenormand, now Julian Alvarez. They have a really good squad, and La Liga in general is doing very
Looking
well.
good.
Yeah.
It's looking good. And speaking of Atletico Madrid, they're also apparently almost pretty much done with Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
That move as well. So Atletico's making some moves here from the premise this offseason, looking to really get back on track.
Yeah, now it's about, are we going to see a Simeone that goes into the press conference before the match and says, no, we go day by day, we're a humble squad, or is he finally going to, take that, accountability and say, yeah, we spend a lot, we have a strong squad, we have to compete against Real Madrid and against Barca, and we must win titles. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think that Simeone is going to once again say that they're a humble team, but we'll see. We're waiting to see what happens in the La Liga.
Speaking of La Liga and Barca, Dani Olmo, there was
Almost bad.
it's
Think
all
back.
bringing it down. But like I said, with these Barcelona transfers, I said it before when when Nico Williams was remember, I am not trusting anything until I see them registered in a Barca jersey.
Yeah.
And Dani Olmo, I mean, we talked about him a little bit with the Euros. Really good, really young. But is that like the correct purchase for Barcelona? It's
Is that the player Barca needed?
exactly with the funds given to Leipzig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. I said looking at some like other moves between La Liga and the Prem. You got Subimendi going from La Liga now to the Prem
Yep.
with Liverpool. So that's another move. I mean, La Liga and Prem going back and forth here. It looks like so far in this transfer market.
Talking about Prem, Mikel Merino is close to a deal with Arsenal.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
really interesting with Arteta. And going back to Barca, I have to say that with the 4-2-3-1 that Hansi Flick is dealing with, I am really. Is he gonna play Olmo as a left wing? Like we'll see what happens there. I think Olmo is a good player, but we haven't seen we're spending 60 million on a guy like Olmo when Atletico just signed or is about to sign Julian Alvarez for about 70-75.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you guys, it's 50 million euros difference between a guy like Julian Alvarez and a guy like Olmo.
Yeah, and Olmo, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's because
Different positions.
yeah,
I feel
different
like, as well.
positions, but I would say that Alvarez at least is coming. I don't know, because Olmo's coming off of this really good Euros and this momentum and stuff, but he's also kind of injury prone. He's not he's and that's another thing. We have a bunch of Barca players that are also injury prone, so it's gonna be just another player to be in the rotation. It's are we really gonna spend 60 million on a player that's just gonna contribute to rotation versus Julian Alvarez? He's there coming in to be that number 9
Yeah.
or to that striker. Yeah, so it really is just two different worlds.
Yeah, I mean, Julian is really looking to prove himself now that he's finally got that solidified number 9 role. Hopefully under Simeone. I mean, we'll see if he can finally prove himself at a club like Atletico.
Talking about different league, we recently heard that David De Gea, someone who was off the radar for a while, he's finally going to sign for Fiorentina.
Yeah.
Which I think, I'm really happy for him. A different league, different environment.
New challenge.
New challenge, and we'll see how good he is, whether he's in shape or not. I've seen a lot of clips of him training during this time that he was off. And for goalkeepers, I mean, I know goalkeepers, they're obsessed with training. I mean, goalkeepers train almost twice a day. They're always training because they are obviously their individual focus and stuff. But it's an exciting signing for Fiorentina. What else? What other signings have you guys seen around? Let us know in the comments if there are any ones in particular that you think are gonna make a big impact this season.
I think so far, in terms of impact, actually, not impact, but I think the team who has gotten the best deal on a player so far this summer is Bayern with Elise. From what I've been seeing in the Olympics so far, which we will get into in a little bit, but just from what I've seen so far from him at these Olympics, I know that it's an under-23 tournament and maybe not the best players are at this tournament, but man, he's been balling.
Yeah, he's been balling. Yeah, and Bayern building a good squad. With company as well. We already talked about this, but we're excited to see how that goes. I feel like everyone is excited. Also, this is not really a move, but Di Maria ends up staying at Benfica. Until 2025. Really exciting for him. Unfortunately for those who wanted to see him at Rosario Central, he's not gonna make it there. Those who wanted to see him play alongside Messi and all the stars in Inter Miami, that's not happening either. But I think it's good for him. And especially because there are more rumors about him possibly staying and playing, the World Cup with Argentina. He denies it, but I have a little doubt. I feel like they might be able to convince him at the end of the.
El Cideo.
Yeah.
In an Argentina jersey once again. But moving on to a different tournament, a more local tournament, the Leagues Cup. The Leagues Cup, this is the second time around that we're having it, the round of 32s just started. I mean, that's crazy. 32 teams after group stages is insane. We were talking about the amount of teams, 29 MLS teams and there's 18 Liga MX teams, just all in all, out and out brawl in there. There's a total of 11 Liga MX teams remaining.
It's a good number.
Yeah, it's a decent number, trying to, put Liga MX's name up there with the overwhelming amount of teams for the MLS. But Pumas ends up beating Whitecaps
Yep, 2-0.
yesterday, and then LAFC also beat Austin FC last night 2-0.
Dynamo to play Toluca tomorrow night or Friday.
Yep.
It will be an exciting game at the Shell. Also, Miami is currently playing Toronto. They're up 1-0 by the time we're recording this. Yeah, with 4 minutes in. But there's been a lot of soccer. But I wanted to ask you guys, what has been your impressions from this league? Because my first impression was, you can obviously tell that Messi is not playing this time because this is injured.
Man, look, first things first, I gotta talk about, the whole protesting and people comparing it to like Open Cup, and it's just,
Oh yeah.
in general, it's, the attendance has not been great. And let's just be real here, for any team in the Leagues Cup, not just Dynamo. I'm not here to bash on the Dynamo's attendance or anything, but it's just in general, for any team, it looks like it's been like this, and it always seems like if you go to a place like LA, it's a team like Chivas or a team like America is going to fill your stadium, not the local team.
Yeah.
And that's what it's looking like so far throughout this Leagues Cup.
It's kind of sad, especially because there have been, like I said, there has been a lot of soccer and really good games, really important games. Like that game between the Dynamo and Real Salt Lake was really important, and there wasn't many people there. And Dynamo finally balled out, and they did very well, winning 3-0 and qualifying. They were most likely going to be out of the group, and they took care of business, and they ended up qualifying as first. That's why they're going to play Toluca. So I'm intrigued to see what happens tomorrow in terms of the seats and how many fans show up.
Yeah, hopefully they start to show out, because I mean, if we win 2 more games, hey, we play America in the quarterfinals. That's a good game.
Yeah.
I would hate to see that game be in Houston here and see more America fans than Dynamo fans, especially when we are the home team. We're supposed to be the favorite. But all things considered, I hope it's 50-50, but if we're being real, probably more America fans when it comes down to that game.
Yeah, but first we gotta beat them.
First we gotta beat them. We can't look too ahead.
Yeah.
In terms of Liga MX, Guillermo, has it satisfied you, like what you have seen from teams,
I mean,
from Liga MX teams?
personally, since Reals got eliminated, I'm just sad, bro. But that's a whole topic in itself. They fired their coach. Their coach has not been for playoff football, and it's been very, very blatant for the past couple of years, and they're struggling to find a new coach. But other than that, keeping biases aside, I feel like Liga MX have honestly underwhelmed me. I expect more from like Chivas, for example, getting eliminated and stuff like that. Look, I said 11 teams are still in the competition, but I mean, if Liga MX is quote unquote claiming to be better than MLS, like you can't have these results. You can't have this ratio, and stuff. And then on top of that, I know it's all group stages and stuff like that, but I don't really like to see, like, for example, America and Atlas playing against each other. So it's just Liga MX against Liga MX. Like, that's what we're getting back, like, in Liga MX.
Yeah.
So, well, obviously, like, brackets and stuff like that. But I mean, I would say it's exciting. I mean, I would say that the rivalry is more alive now than ever. Liga MX for such a long time really was convinced themselves that they were infinitely better than MLS. And I mean, it's these cups are showing it that that's not necessarily the case.
However, we do have to say that the environment and the content itself helps MLS teams a lot more than they do for Liga MX squads, because you don't have even though like Chivas, in the case of Chivas, they obviously had the people support, but the majority of teams do not have that. And you don't play in your stadium, you're constantly traveling, training in different grounds. Like, it's just, there's a lot to it, but hopefully one day MLS will be like, okay, let's take League Cup to Mexico. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, interesting test for the Dynamo tomorrow. I mean, hey, last time, aside from Mexico came, we lost. 1-0. Atlas got that goal in the 90th minute to beat us. But I think tomorrow they'll be awake and ready to go. And I mean, I'm super excited to see Lawrence and Ali finally start for us. If he can get that start, I've been watching him for the last 2 games of League Cup, and he's been impressive both times that he comes on. He's very fast. He's a very fast young winger, and he likes to take on players. Reminds you of a lot of like Nelson, but a little bit better. I feel like he's a little bit sharper on the ball, a little bit smarter with it as well. So I'm excited to
Yeah,
see him
bro.
start tomorrow.
Bright future ahead for the Dynamo and bright future ahead for Mexico.
Yeah.
As we heard, Rafa Marquez has officially, terminated his contract with Barcelona, like Houston, and has become, the assistant coach. Is it called assistant coach? Because I feel like it's gonna be a lot more than an assistant coach with Javier Aguirre.
And
What are your first thoughts on Rafa Marquez joining El Tri?
I mean, it's a great time to be in the three fan for sure. In terms of like, they're assembling the Avengers. Like that's really what's going on.
It's like Iron Man is back.
Yeah, like they're bringing Javier Aguirre, they're bringing Rafa Marquez, they're bringing Conejo Perez to be the goalkeeper coach. Like they're bringing everybody in, and it's gonna be good, man, because it's a beautiful mixture of Javier Aguirre experience with La Selección and these kinds of situations right before World Cups, and then somebody like Rafa Marquez that has been he studied in the Johan Cruyff School. He went to and was in Barcelona Atletico for like 2 years, and is now able to bring this experience and this knowledge about the football that's developed over there and apply it into El Tri. And that's one of the main things Javier Aguirre really wanted from Rafa Marquez. Now that they're going to be working together in a coaching staff.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and speaking of Rafa Marquez, he's worked with a lot of young players at Barca. Maybe he can help the younger players from La Selección Mexicana, the under-20s that recently actually won the championship this past weekend against the U.S.
Yep.
Beat them in that final. So the future is starting to look bright for Mexico again. And I mean, hey, Copa America, U.S. best generation finished the same as Mexico's worst generation.
Yep.
So it's only up from here for you guys. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and definitely all these young guys, like, they look up and they see Rafa Marquez. And I mean, it's all, you have to respect a guy like Rafa Marquez.
Yeah.
So that's a figure that you need, especially going from, like, I like, Tata Martino, there was, and then Jimmy, like,
Yeah.
it's just different profiles, okay? Different identities, different guys. But with Rafa Marquez and Javier Aguirre, like, you have to respect this.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's exciting to see what they can do, honestly.
That's one of the main things that this Mexico squad was missing, was like a leader that they can look up to and like they can really like trust this person. And I feel like that's a big thing that Rafa Marquez is going to be able to bring to the table. He's going to be able to be that leader and then, have more of a connection with like the quote unquote younger guys, good with young guys and stuff like that. And then as well as like, he's good at like the quote unquote older players. Like he's definitely, I would say, the man for the job. And the whole thing is he's going to be assistant for 2 years. And then if everything goes well, he will take over the main coach job, the head coach job for the next World Cup in 2030.
Yeah, maybe he could be the next Zidane. He worked with Ancelotti, won La Décima, and then went on and became the coach for Real Madrid. So maybe, you apply it to the national level, but, it's exciting. I'm excited to see what Mexico can do. I want to see Rafa. But transitioning back to Barcelona and Rafa's time there, obviously this is a new era with Hansi Flick. But in the future, do you guys see Rafa Marquez making it to Barcelona? Does it depend like 100% on what he does with Mexico? Or do you guys think that he won his spot or at least a chance to have an opportunity?
I think not yet, just because I feel like he would have had his chance now, especially in the situation that Barca was in not too long ago. And I feel like that was his best window to have that chance, until the future. So, let's say, I don't know, maybe even 10 years from now, I feel like could be maybe the next window that he gets to be Barca's main manager. So now I feel like he does have to prove himself. I feel like at the time, at this current time that Barca had, he didn't. And honestly, I feel like there was a chance that he could have been the head coach.
Yeah.
There was a good possibility of that. But now that, they found Hansi Flick and they trust him, I feel like now he's going to have to prove himself with the Mexican national team. So hopefully it goes well for him.
Yeah, I would personally like to see him as Barca's coach one day, but I don't think he's ready for the job whatsoever.
Yeah,
especially now since he's starting this whole process with Mexico, he's gonna be out of club football for a while.
I feel like he missed the window.
Yeah, so if we see him in a Barca managing job, it'll be way later down the line. For now, his focus is on Mexico 100%. He already said it. He said that he's not thinking about anything else. One of the big things he's going to be doing is he's going to be living in Europe since he's got a house in Barcelona and really going to be managing those Mexican players that are in Europe. So that'll also be really good. But speaking a little bit more on Barca, I mean, this preseason has been pretty nice, man. It's been good, and Hansi Flick has been making some head turns and making me hope. You know, like I told these guys in the group chat, I said we're going to talk about a little bit about Barca in this podcast. In parentheses, I said we're back.
Yeah, we are. He's bringing the light. Like, he played with so many. So, okay, Barcelona plays Manchester City. They play Real Madrid and they played AC Milan in a preseason that was a little bit chaotic between like the rain and that Madrid game like getting delayed and all that. Also, I remember last year Barca was supposed to play Juve, but like players got sick. I don't know if you guys know. So I feel like Barca doesn't really have a good time when it comes to preseason year. But I mean, they had to play because of the situation that they're in. So many players injured. They have to play with guys from La Masia, and Hansi Flick did not only give them the chance to be there, but he made them look and he gave them the chance to be important. And now the question is he going to be able to translate that into a league success and a championship success with this Masia guys? What happens when Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong come back? So I'm really happy with Hansi Flick. It's obvious that he's playing with a 4-2-3-1, which is something that Barcelona needed very well. And Lewandowski, is he back? Is he... Like, he scored a goal.
Good against Milan.
Yeah.
Very good. But speaking of that game against Milan, someone who didn't look good, Marquez Ter Stegen. We gotta talk a little bit about his preseason so far, man. I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully he can turn it around. But it's not been a great preseason for Ter Stegen so far.
I feel like when all the captains left, like, Busi, Messi, Jordi, and now Sergio Roberto leaving, like, there was the whole fan base was like, okay, Ter Stegen is going to be our leader, especially because he was the guy who stepped up when Barcelona lost against like big in Champions League against Bayern and Roma. Like he was usually one of the players who would like go into the media and say and respond. When Messi didn't do it, when Busquets didn't do it. So there was like the fan base in general was happy with him, but now there is like different opinions, and it's crazy because it's not because of something that he did off the pitch. It's because of his performances. Yeah. So maybe we'll see a change in goal near, in the reason. Yeah,
maybe. I feel like maybe that could also go with like the pressure of being a captain. Maybe you need an outfield player as a captain. Somebody that's in the midfield or in the attack or the defense or whatever, and are actually influencing the players and their teammates and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to like be a captain, be a goalie, and just be at the back.
Yeah.
But hey, we got Community Shield this weekend. City United, we're back. We are back, baby. So, that's going to be this Saturday, 9 a.m., so our time, so we'll be there for that one. That's going to be going.
Every day the Prem gets closer and closer.
Yeah, exciting stuff coming, with all the leagues and all these tournaments coming as well. Obviously, we'll have the European Super Cup soon between Real Madrid, first minutes with Mbappe. Yeah. I've seen clips from training. It looks insane. Also, like the Pintus, like their preseason trainings. Apparently, like everyone is like Mbappe. There are pictures of him, like how shocked he is of like what the stuff they go through. Yeah. But I mean, that explains why they're so physically like
they run all day.
Yeah, they can run all day. They're really powerful. And that does it for us with Club Talk, does it?
Yeah. I mean, we'll just do the big tournament that's been going on right now and tomorrow. France and Spain in the Olympics final. It's been the Olympics have been a pleasant watch.
It's interesting. That Argentina game where they stopped it for like 2 whole hours.
Oh yeah,
that was insane. I mean, Egypt France game was crazy. I mean, Egypt had the lead for the entire game. It looked like they were going to run away with it, but France came through in extra time. The red card. Egypt had a early second yellow card at the start of extra time, and that kind of just killed the game. But France against Spain. Yeah. That's a good game.
It's gonna be a good game. Another game that was pretty good. France Argentina. For there were like
the 1-0. Yeah, it was a good 1-0.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate in general towards Argentina because of what has been before, the stuff that happened with Enzo. Like after Copa America. So it's just like it's a heated game. And a good rivalry has started between France and Argentina. We'll see what happens later on.
Another disappointing Olympics for USA though. Going out early. I don't know. I mean, USA. It's looking like they're going downhill so far in terms of like their youth and development. But we'll see.
I mean, it's like I see where you're coming from, but it's not all bad, you know.
No,
Like
it's not all that bad. But
I think it was like I don't know. Last time I think it was like 16 years, something like that. Last time like USA like qualified or something like that,
yeah,
and then they scored like a 4 goal game, which is like the first time they scored 4 goals in the Olympics since like early 2000s as well. So I mean, there's a couple of highlights, but people were expecting more. But maybe it's just maybe the football is just outgrowing. Maybe the U.S. thought that they could keep up, and they're just getting that reality check.
Yeah, and all this like the Olympics because they play with the under 23 team and then they bring like three players who are like older than that. I think it's a reality check, like you said, for a lot of leagues because most of these talent in especially well teams like Argentina or Spain or France, they have talent all over the world. But the other squads they have to get that talent from the domestic leagues, and that's how you can kind of test
yeah.
which domestic leagues are doing better and which countries developing players did better. But talking about Olympics and Argentina, I wanted to touch on a little bit on Mascherano. It's something that Guillermo and I were discussing before the start of the episode. It's like Mascherano received the opportunity to become the U20 coach for Argentina in 2021, and he has been there.
Right?
Yeah, he was for all the the Olympics and the World Cup, and just for like the U20, and he has had bad results ever since he obtained it. And we were talking about that I feel like the only reason why he's still the coach is because of the respect that people's got on his name.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a guy like Mascherano, like sometimes those coaches that don't have much experience must start with a club because there's no way that you can build like enough experience to coach at this level or national level when you don't have the daily experience of what it is to run a club. You know what I mean? And I feel like that could translate to many other coaches before that they have been with national teams and then they go on with clubs and they do better. It's because you are able to test each one of your experiments every day. You work on the week, you test it on the weekend. If it worked, you keep doing it. If it didn't work, you start again. So that's something that Mascherano and the whole environment in Argentina, they kind of like have to discuss. Like, do you want to keep a guy who everyone respects but is not a good coach, or do you want to provide an opportunity to someone who's maybe under the radar, like can come in and do a lot more?
Do you feel like him being like this, like a legend for like Argentina and its history and everything? Do you feel like he should step down on his own and just be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I need to step down.
Yes, 100%. And apparently he has tried to do that, but people have convinced him not to.
Wow.
So it's just like it's the environment. Like I'm saying, it's the circle that's at the top. And even apparently there are reports, and Mascherano has said as well that Messi has communicated with him and told him, hey, keep the job, keep doing it, keep trying. But it's something like, dude, at some time you gotta say, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Let me just start maybe with. Obviously, you're not gonna coach River, but maybe grab like a mid-table club in Argentina and work from there. But again, when you're such a superstar, hopefully this doesn't happen like a guy to Rafa, where people just keep him there because of how good of a legend he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's what happens when you're such a legend in a certain place that just everyone just like loves you and praises you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a trend. People try to get, or clubs or organizations or whatever, they try to get these like old players, like these Zidane's. I feel like started that trend.
Yeah, honestly.
And now everybody's just becoming a coach and expecting great things from them, but things are not that simple.
They're not that simple, and we will see what can Mascherano and other coaches at the U20, U23 level can do with their squads. Especially when you have so much talent, like Argentina, like France, like Spain, pulling players from La Masia, La Fábrica.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, but I think it's time. We've gotten there. It's time for us to begin our interview with Jordy. Is this the first one you have ever done?
Personally, no. Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. But this is the first time I've done it like on a podcast.
Okay.
More of a conversation.
Yeah, like more of a conversation. This is the first time. Usually it'll be like a short interview for like a news station or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, this is. Obviously, Jordy Reyes. Like, I mean, if you just want to, give us your background, man.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who is starting to watch the podcast, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah.
Alright,
Bring us
so
them.
I'm Jordy. I'm 24. I'm a professional FIFA player for the Dynamo. This is my third year as a professional for the Dynamo. I started competing in FIFA 20, but I did not get signed until FIFA 21. In FIFA 20, I was just competing on my own, like as a free agent, just playing like the online regional tournaments and things like that, and placing well. And then at the end of FIFA 20, I got the opportunity to represent the Dynamo in 21. And then I didn't do so good in 21. Got dropped. And then didn't play in 22. Did well in 22 by myself. Made a 2v2 regional final. And then got picked up again for 23. And then, yeah, been here since.
How has the process been with the Dynamo? Like ever since they got you back and with them, like how do you feel with the franchise?
I mean, good. Honestly, like, I don't blame them for doing what they did. Because at the end of the day, like, it's a business, right? And, like, if you don't perform, it's that simple. Like, you're going to get let go. And, like, that's just the reality of it. Like, it's esports. Like, I know people, like, laugh at it sometimes and don't take it seriously. But, like it's a real business. Like, these teams invest money and they want you to do well. Because, like, they're investing their own money into it. So if you don't do well, you don't perform, like there's a possibility that you will get dropped.
Like how do you deal with that pressure? Sorry, I'm taking all
No,
of this
yeah.
stuff. But how do you deal, like personally, with that pressure? Like, do you rely on people around you, on friends?
Yeah.
Do you go to like a specialist to discuss this thing?
It's hard, yeah. It's a mental battle. I know friends in the league that do have like a personal, psychiatrist. They see them, they talk to them and stuff. But me personally, no. I feel pressure, but I don't know. I'm able to remain calm. I guess it's just the experience now. Like it's my third year. It's obviously the first year. Yeah, man. Like trembling. Honestly, like you get really nervous. But I like once you experience it and you know what needs to be done to win these games. Because like in these games, like everyone knows what to do mechanically. It's just about like who can stay in the game mentally. And like if you're 2-0 down, like don't give up mentally or something like that. Or come back to the game and end up winning. So yeah, I think because of my experience, like I'm able to just stay calm in those situations now, those high pressure situations.
Yeah, I mean, I admire like what you guys do, man. I sit through some weekend league and I'm breaking my controllers, bro. I don't know how you're doing it week in and week out. But one thing I did want to ask you is, when you're come up of, deciding to become a professional player or just how did you develop that love for a video game into, okay, this is it, I'm going to go pro?
Seeing yourself improve, I think, is the biggest thing that keeps you want to like keep playing. Because like I remember when I started playing weekend league. So in FIFA 19, I got my first Elite 3, my first Elite 2, and then my first Elite 1, all in the same year. So like, and that was the FIFA where I had the most hours. I think I have like over 2,000 hours.
That's insane.
I have like 2.2 thousand hours on FIFA 19 because that's how much I loved it because I was seeing myself improve.
That was a good game too.
For the first time. And yeah, it had its glitches, but I liked the gameplay. The gameplay was fast in 19. But yeah, I think that's like the main thing that kept me motivated or that kept me like loving the game. It's just seeing myself constantly improve.
Do you think now that you have worked, soccer or esports, it's what you do for a living?
Yeah.
Do you think that has that improved or increased the love that you have for soccer in general? Or now that you spend so much time in front of the screen, or that you already did it before, but now like you do it with a different kind of pressure, is it like, okay, sometimes I just don't want to watch soccer, I don't want to watch FIFA, I don't want to watch anything, I just want to focus on something else?
Yeah, no, I think watching FIFA and watching soccer are two completely different things. Because when you watch competitive FIFA, it's not pretty. I want to be honest with you, it's not pretty because there's so many bugs and glitches that us pros have to use because if we don't use them, you're gonna lose at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's not pretty to watch, and it's different in terms of viewing for sure. And the reason I play FIFA in the first place is because I love soccer. So I'll never get bored of soccer, honestly.
It's pretty cool, man. And I wanted to ask, or do you have a question?
You can go.
Okay. So now that you have said that you love soccer, and this is something that me, I'm majoring in journalism. I started watching soccer, like playing soccer when I was like 4.
Yeah.
Soccer has been in my life, ever since forever. What has led to that? Is it like a family thing? Like how important is your family, friends, and other people around you in regard to your love and your passion for the sport?
Ooh, everything. Because I mean, they're the reason why I got into it. You know, my dad and my mom are the reason I got into it. Because you know, when I was young, so I actually started doing taekwondo before I started doing soccer. I was in taekwondo until I was like 10 years old, and then like I don't know, I remember this vividly. I don't know why, but I turned on the TV one day and it was Manchester United against Blackburn. And I don't know why I have such a strong memory of this, but I do. I remember exactly. It was like United against Blackburn on the TV. And I was watching that and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Sir Alex made him a fan, man.
Yes, so technically I should be a United fan, but I'm not a fan. But that was the first game I ever watched. And like, I don't know, ever since then, I was like, Dad, like, I want to play soccer. And he was like, oh, great. And then, like, because me and my dad used to watch all of the Honduras games. Because he wasn't really a big club guy. Like, when I was growing up, I remember at least he wasn't, like, a big Barca fan or, like, Dynamo or anything like that. He was just, like, all about the Honduran national team. Like, he loves his country so much, basically. So, every Honduras game, like, we would watch together. And I remember for the 2010 World Cup qualifiers, when we finally qualified after, like, 30-plus years, like, it was a really emotional moment, like, for us. And so, yeah, basically, my dad is pretty much the reason why I got into soccer.
Yes.
Okay. But what about, when did you start getting into FIFA? Like, when did you actually first play? What was your first FIFA? What console?
So my first FIFA was, well, I didn't start off with FIFA. I started off with PES. Because PES,
Respect, man. Respect.
PES was
We're in the gang,
before
bro.
FIFA.
Yes, man.
Before, like, I started, like, it was like PES 06, bro, with Adriano.
Make PES great again, man.
Yeah, PES. PES was the thing back then, bro. Like, PES, it was PES 06 with Adriano, I remember, and I was playing that up until like 2009, 2010, and that's when PES started to like fall off.
Yeah.
And like, I got into FIFA 09. FIFA 09 was my first FIFA, and then I got the 2010 World Cup version with all the countries, every country.
That was the coolest thing ever.
And so I ran like the World Cup qualifier with them from the start all the way to the World Cup final. And that's how I got into FIFA. But yeah, ever since then I've been playing FIFA.
Definitely that 2010 South Africa. That was like peak childhood right there, bro.
That was a dope game. But my drive to want to play competitively and like get better at the game started. All right, so I went to Honduras for the first time in 2012, and like I've been playing since like FIFA 09, FIFA 10, FIFA 11, and I thought I was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like a little 10-year-old kid. I thought I was pretty good.
Pretty good at
I go
FIFA.
back home to Honduras for the first time, and my older brother lives over there at the time. He's in the States now, but my older brother's over there, and I think I'm like the best. I think I'm the best. I'm a little 10-year-old like talking smack to him. Like, I'm gonna beat you, and he destroys me. Bro. We're playing FIFA 12. I bring my copy of FIFA 12 with me,
That's a good one.
and man, he destroys me, bro. And I started crying. I literally started crying. This is a true story. Like I just started crying. That's how bad he beat me. And so like ever since then, I was like, man, I gotta be good enough to beat my older brother.
It awoken something inside.
It awoken something in me, bro. Exactly.
Dude.
And so yeah, that kind of started my drive to like want to get better at the game.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Okay, well, how would you describe your relationship with the game?
I was gonna ask you before that, and I think it goes in relation with this question. Is like, were you the type of person that used to get mad or frustrated with losses?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and yeah, like how's your relationship with the game now? Because now when you lose, you know, it's not just about throwing the controller, but it's something that you represent the team.
Yeah,
you know,
no, actually, no, I definitely don't throw any controllers. now, especially that, like, in a tournament, no, that'd be a terrible look.
That's
But, like, yeah, back then, I used to rage for sure. At Weekend League, like in FIFA 19 and stuff, yeah. Obviously, I definitely used to rage. Like, I would lose to, like, a scrub. Like, if I was, like, 19-1 in Weekend League, and I lost to someone that was, like, 15-10, I would lose my mind. I would rage, but yeah, now like broken controllers, like nothing crazy though, nothing out of the ordinary, like breaking like my monitor or anything like that. But yeah, but in terms of like my relationship with the game, I mean like here's the thing: there's bugs, and like I would love for EA to fix these bugs and everything, because like I used to just play the game just to play the game. Like, I never used to look deep into these bugs, but when you play the game so much, you look at every little thing and you notice every little thing. And I think it's not a problem because it eventually happens with how much you play the game that you start to notice every little thing. But it does get frustrating. Like, I wish I could go back sometimes and just play the game. Like, I feel like the game is the most fun when you're like, oh, gold 1, gold 2, and you're trying to get that elite for the first time.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to get that gold 1 for the first time. I feel like that's the best time to play the game because I feel like once you get good enough, you notice every little thing and it takes you.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like you're like what's the word? Just like a sweaty nerd when you're like using all these like OP tactics and
like player locking and doing all this stuff. And
it's just the
three
middle.
times, and but it's just what works. Like I said, I mean, there's a saying, it's like hate the game, not the player.
Yeah.
So I kind of go by that. Like,
It's part of the business, though.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean,
it's something that it's on you, and if you want to keep improving and you want to go farther and farther, you have to
you just have to
you keep doing it and adapt, like you said.
Yeah.
And talking about going like to the next level, what's ahead not only for you, but what do you think is ahead for esports?
So recently, the Olympics actually passed esports. So esports is not going to be part of the Olympics officially. So they're going to have their own esports Olympics, which is crazy. And right now, the esports World Cup is going on in Saudi Arabia, and it's like a crazy prize pool. It's like, I don't know how many millions, but like it's in the millions. So like the winner for the FIFA tournament is going to get like $300K right now. That tournament's next week. You have to qualify for it. I played the qualifiers in Dallas.
Yeah.
The qualifiers were in Dallas. I didn't qualify, but the qualifiers were in Dallas. And like I think first place gets like $300K or something crazy like that. So like prize pools are getting bigger, more sponsors are getting involved. They're seeing that it's something that people do every day to take their mind off, and they want to maybe they want to see, oh, okay, well, I like playing FIFA. Let me see who's the best at FIFA, and maybe watch them and see if I can get better by watching them play.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be a thing, and I'm glad that people are investing and paying more attention to it as the years go by.
And talk to us about any one of your favorite like moments that you've had like at an esports, any kind of event, or like walk us through one of your favorite events or anything like that.
Oh, one of my favorite events, definitely E Nations. Representing the Honduran national team was definitely the coolest thing I did. In the qualifiers in FIFA 23, and the format is actually different for that. The format is 2v2, so you have a partner with you, and my partner was Diego Capo, who is the pro for Philadelphia, and his dad actually was the manager for the Honduran national team. Diego Vasquez is his dad, and he was the national team manager when we were there for a little bit. He's not there anymore. He's back with Motagua now.
Right.
But that's really cool. So I got the chance to play with Gallo, and Gallo was a really good player from Philadelphia. He's Honduran like me as well. So we were able to come together and even though he's in Philly and I'm in Houston, we came together to represent the national team. So I thought that was really cool.
That's gotta be like
that's an insane feeling, honestly.
Yeah, probably gave you chills, tears.
And it was crazy because you have to go through a whole process. It's like being like an actual pro. Like I had to get my passport and I had to like get my Honduran citizenship and everything. And,
what's like the craziest thing that you have experienced out of esports, or like being with a Dynamo or something like that? Like something you still feel like this is not real. Like what am I living like?
Definitely when I get asked for like pictures, honestly, because it's crazy. Like I feel like I'm just a normal dude, and like people will come up to me and be like, "Hey, like I watch your streams, bro," or like, "Hey, like I like your stuff." Like I watch you, and like it's crazy. It's like I don't know. I never get used to it, but I know that I should act like I've been there. But yeah, I don't know. I just find it crazy how a normal guy like me who just happens to be good at FIFA, gets people to watch him and stuff and like support him. So,
what's the hardest loss? Like your hardest loss, it could be a game or like a tournament or not qualifying, like you said, to something.
Yeah, hardest loss was against Panama, I think in the qualifier of 23. So we were, so it's 3 of us. So the Honduran, it was 4 of us. So when the national team calls you up, they pick 4 players. So it was me and 3 other guys, obviously Thiago, and then it was Isaac Skills and Kareem, like 2 other pros from Honduras. And so Kareem and Thiago were called up for this last game against Panama. So we'll switch duos sometimes depending on the game, right? Like certain matchups, maybe maybe Thiago knows the player from Panama more, like his habits more. So you put him against them,
Yeah.
right? So it was Thiago and Kareem against Panama, and we were down 3-0 at the end of the first half, and all we needed was a draw to advance to the knockouts, to the next day, to play the U.S. for a chance at World Cup. And we make it 3-2. We make it 3-2 in the second half, and we get a penalty in the 90th +2 when the game's already over. So this is the last kick no matter what.
Yeah.
And Thiago chips it down the middle, and we lose. And that's it. And then we get eliminated. And we laugh about it now with Thiago.
Yeah.
But like at the time, bro, you can feel the silence. Just
Oh my
the
god.
heartbrokenness of like the room, even though that's not a word, but yeah, like just the sadness in that room. Like after he chipped that penalty and then he'd go in.
I can't imagine that.
No, that was the saddest moment, honestly. That was probably one of my saddest moments.
So we all play FIFA or EAFC, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Make PES great again. I'm just saying that. But we all play these video games and we love them or hate them sometimes.
You play them for the love of the game.
But what can you tell to those people who maybe a little kid, maybe someone who's older, that is like, okay, I think I'm really good or I'm decent or maybe I'm not so good, but I would love to be where he's at. Like, what can you tell them?
Yeah, no. But I can always recommend for someone who's up and coming, because I've been in that position, obviously, where I want to be where someone else is, like in the pro esports scene. So definitely, I would suggest just uploading your stuff to socials constantly. Like make a Twitter and post your weekly results. Post your tournament results. Do all of that. Connect with other competitive players in the scene through Discord. Like join Discords, join like friendlies. There's like friendly servers in there where you can play with other pros, talk to them. Get to know them, and just practice with these guys and be amongst them is the biggest thing I would say. Like be amongst other competitive players and like help one another grow. Because that's how I got here. Is just meeting people. Honestly, just meeting people through champs, through rivals, through these online tournaments, and after the game, be like, hey, like, yo, GG's, man, like, do you ever want to play sometime? And here's my gamer tag. And after that, you guys talk and you exchange phone numbers and you become close friends, and yeah, like it's all about making connections, honestly, and just getting to know other pros and competitive players in the scene. So that would be my biggest thing, is just be active in the community. That would be my biggest advice.
Gotcha, man.
Some premium advice from professional
man. You don't always get that, man. Like,
EMLS player from the Dynamo, Jordy Reyes.
Yeah.
To try to wrap up this interview, I did want to ask you, what is your favorite FIFA card of all time?
And alongside your favorite FIFA game in general.
Favorite FIFA game of all time. Okay, favorite FIFA of all time, 15.
Okay.
15, 1,000% 15, and then after 15, 22.
Okay.
I think 22's gameplay was amazing, and I like 22 because of how smooth it was.
Okay.
But yeah, 15 number one, and then 22. And then in terms of card, 5th birthday Mbappe from FIFA 20, and the double 5-star Mbappe with max pace, the best speed, and obviously the 5-star skills.
Yeah.
That card was just ridiculous. Honestly, that's my favorite card of all time.
5-star Mbappe.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Mbappe, a lot of people in the comments might say like Ibarbo from FIFA 15.
Victor Ibarbo.
That card played like a 99.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. What you think about EMLS, the Dynamo, Jordy, and what your favorite FIFA, PES, or any stuff that you want to bring to the table, because this is really interesting and it's a different way to view the game. Because at the end of the day, we all love soccer, but there's some people who make a living because they play, and there's some people who make a living because they communicate, and there's some people who do both, like you, you play and you communicate. But before we close this, I wanted to ask you, I totally forgot the question.
Yeah,
My bad.
Yeah, you're good. No, but yeah, I mean, if anyone has any questions, they can always feel free to hit me up. Jordy Reyes 34 on Twitter, Jordy Reyes 9 on Instagram. If you have any questions, on, like how to improve or anything like that, my DMs are always open, and yeah, although FIFA can be frustrating and things like that, we love the game. We love the game because we love soccer, and we're always going to play it. Like, I'm an addict, dude. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to be 35, 40 years old still playing FIFA. I'm just going to be honest, because that's what I love to do. It's my hobby.
Yeah. I personally have to take, breaks from the game like months at a time.
Yeah, for
'cause,
sure.
Like it's
It's
just
mentally draining.
it's a lot.
Understand, yeah.
Well, how you say? I always say I'm not gonna buy the next one. I'm not gonna buy the
Hey,
next one.
we're there.
I will simply be there.
We're gonna be there, man. We just love it too much.
Speaking of the next one, you played it a little bit. Can you provide any comments on it?
I don't know if I can actually.
Well, it's
I don't know
okay.
if I can, but I have been playing the beta. Yes. At the moment of this recording, the FC25 beta is up. Vicente's been playing it as well. He told me a little bit before the episode, but look forward to it. Is all I can say. Look forward to it.
Yeah. For you, if you're watching this and you enjoy career mode, there's a lot coming.
Yeah.
So stay
a
tuned.
lot
for
of new
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Career mode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, will that do it for the interview?
Yeah.
And we're gonna be getting into
It's time.
the final segment.
No more fun. No more fun for Jordy.
Football.
Gets the
What is
football.
our This is episode number 14. So
Episode
we are
number 14.
probably 11-2, I would say, or
11?
10-3.
I'd say 10-3.
I think you guys have lost like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, like you know, 5 players. They have to guess who they have played with. It can be a former club, and the current club, or the national team.
Yeah.
The first player is Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. Wow. Okay. British, United. I mean, that could literally be anybody. Could even say, I'm a throw it. I'm gonna say David De Gea.
It is not David De Gea. But hey, he will be technically
play.
eligible to be
Yeah,
one
I
of
thought you
them.
were gonna throw us a curveball
Yeah.
there.
Hopefully we see him back in the front.
Yeah.
Very soon.
The second player is Kane. Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Currently
so
playing
British.
for Bayern.
I mean, could be
British
British.
side.
You know, United players at Spurs players.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll throw Harry Maguire.
It is Harry. That's crazy. I actually thought you guys were gonna go with Eric Dyer because he's like Tottenham and England.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you went with Harry Maguire.
Let's go.
Yeah, then the other players were Madison, Whitehurst, and Schmeichel.
Okay.
So
Harry Maguire.
yeah, Harry Maguire. Yeah,
Let's go.
Nice
and quick.
yeah, nice and quick. To wrap things up.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. That was so easy.
Yeah, but I mean, we're definitely gonna be doing more episodes like this. Planning on interviewing Vicente, and then they're gonna be interviewing me. Just kind of like for us to get us out there, having experience at the same time. And we're probably not even done with Jordy. There was a lot more things I wanted to ask him for sure.
Yeah, honestly, with Jordy, I feel like you can interview him as time goes on.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
he's
prior to MLS next season, we could do another one.
yeah, what's ahead for you in terms of tournaments? Yeah.
Yeah, so far, obviously, we're just waiting on the new game at the moment, waiting for the new game to come out. We don't know the format for next season. Every season, the people at EA come up with a new format, it seems like. So they'll give us more news like in a few weeks, hopefully. So, I'll know for sure. But EMLS, for sure, hopefully, we'll be back in sometime January, February. That's when they usually do it. So right now, just EMLS, looking forward to that.
Yeah, stay tuned in our socials and especially Jordy's socials, for all that. But yeah, like Guillermo said, we plan on interviewing, each one of us so you guys can get to know us better, and we can also talk about the experience that each one of us has because has been working at ESPN, has done incredible stuff for a while.
Vicente's been at Copa America.
Yeah, that
UH. Working with
I
UH
used
baseball.
to play.
Yeah, I used to play.
And
So
you used to play Seven Lakes, prestigious program here in Houston.
yeah, so there's a lot for us, and we will love to share it with y'all.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah,
More
we'll have Leagues Cup, and we'll talk about the Olympics final, more transfer news, and everything coming up. Community Shield final as well. So stay tuned for next week's episode. And until then, guys, where can they follow y'all?
Vicente.gar.m on Instagram, BGM091102 on Twitter.
I can't help
Yeah.
it after you trying to say it, bro.
This is
I'm GLR. No, foot with GLR, bro. FUTWGOR. All platforms.
Yep, and me, Jordy Reyes 34 on Twitter, Jordy Reyes 9 on Instagram. We'll get rid of the numbers someday. But that does it for us, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.